Welcome back, bodybuilding fans. We're standing here at G Standard Gym. My good friend and mentor, Stan Efferding, strongest world pro bodybuilder. And today we just smashed up some legs. I hope you guys enjoy it. We didn't actually get to get an intro out for you because we were too busy doing work. And I just got to ask you, Stan, what do you think of the gym now?
I love it. I love it. All the hardcore stuff. This is what true hardcore bodybuilders and powerlifters really look for in the gym. I love it. Today, you know, I've been on this 20s kick because I think it's better for hypertrophy and volume, helps with more frequency, I recover faster, I get more total pounds per hour, pounds per week. My knees feel better, my cardiovascular is much improved. But I do a variation of 20s. I don't always just do 20 reps because sometimes that only takes 20-25 seconds on leg press. And then I can make the progressive factors, shortening the rest period, increasing the weight, doing more total sets. Today we did a time under tension approach. It was 20s per se, but we set a clock and we made sure that we were under tension doing reps for a minute straight. And whether you slow the reps down and get 20 or you keep them fast and get 35, it doesn't matter. That time under tension builds. And I think that it spares you a little of the oxygen debt. I don't want oxygen debt to necessarily be the limiting factor. I like for muscle pump, I like to get a lot of reps in, I like for the lactic acid build up to be the limiting factor. Failure of the muscle before failure of the breathing. And today, the time under tension allowed us to do that. By the time we got to a minute, I still had more breaths in me, but I didn't have another rep left in my legs. The first set was pretty easy. I got like 35 reps. Second set, 28 reps. Third set, 25. Fourth set, 22. Fifth set, I don't even think I finished. I had to hold the weight there. I did one set, one rep in the last 10 seconds, another rep for the final 10 seconds. So the time under tension became the focus today. The pump was insane. My oxygen jet was much improved over when I just do 90-second rests.
How long have you been running this program? How long have you been implementing this?
I've been doing 20s for a couple of years now with squats you've seen. Then I started introducing leg press because I think that it takes the strain away from the hips and lower back and focuses it more on the quads. The other thing we did today was we brought the feet in and lower. So the focus was all on the quads instead of the hip flexors, glutes, and lower back. I'm trying to build more leg mass. So I ran the 20s for a long time, just doing 20s. But I found out that the longer I was under the tension, the harder the set became. So I just started setting the clock for a minute and promised myself I'd just keep doing reps. It was a slower pace for a minute straight. And we did that today. I've been doing that for a few weeks now with a huge change, I think, in the result from primarily failing again oxygen-wise as opposed to failing in terms of just muscle failure. Just the lactic acid build up, the burn, the blood pump until you couldn't even contract another rep. That's what we did today, and it was brutal.
It was, and I think I've always been a proponent in the past of training like a heathen, as opposed to doing a little bit more intelligent approach, which I believe this is an accumulation of your knowledge over time. And now we're just implementing it into something that's a little bit more focused on, like you said, the muscle endurance versus the lung endurance. And it did. It paid off for me. I don't have any low back pain, no knee pain, no nothing.
And that's a big thing, back pain, knee pain. That kind of fatigue builds up over time and you just can't train anymore. It just stops your progress. And for tall guys, the squat tends to be a hip and lower back and glute movement. And to focus on the quads, much like Dorian said throughout his career, he did a lot more leg press and hack squat with the lower, closer stance. Somebody like Tom Platz, who sits straight up and down in the squat and is shorter, he can focus the energy on the quads as opposed to getting a lot of back load, so that benefited him. But we're finding that with the longer femur and longer lower legs, that we need to watch our foot position, maintain mind-muscle connection, keep the focus off of the hips and lower back and glutes, and just keep the quads moving.
So what I noticed was that you had a really like unconventional to me, but comfortable for you forward position with the chest down. And I feel like that looks like to me, standing from the side, like that's a load up on the front of the quads as opposed to putting it on the low back and the glutes and the hips.
And historically, as a powerlifter, I tried to keep a vertical shin. I did a wider stance. I broke at the hips first. So when I got in the bottom movement, my knees weren't too bent. They weren't out over the toes, which is a weaker position for a powerlifter. But knees over the toes is a better position for focusing the strain on the quad for growth and hypertrophy. So you notice my leg press today with a closer, lower stance with the quads. When I brought the weight down, I had more bend, more flex in the quad right here, recruited more muscle fiber, more knee over toe, and that enabled me to get a huge pump on the legs without any back or hip strain.
Yeah. So and I agree, and I feel it. And I feel great. I'm this close to throwing up. I'm actually considering going outside and throwing up in the middle of this.
We had a little pep talk, and I said, look, we're not just to take you to deep water. I know some people like to brag about deep water. Well, you know, you can go run as fast as you can down the street for 5 minutes, and that's not going to build much muscle, but it'll make your lungs fail and you might throw up. So really what we tried to focus on today was to get such an incredible pump, such an awesome burn from the lactic acid buildup in the legs, but the lungs was totally secondary. We let the legs suck the oxygen out of us, not the the heart rate from just doing rep after rep after rep. We're not CrossFitters, and that's not to knock anybody. We're focused on one thing, and that's hypertrophy. So we try and maximize that with all of those details that I just mentioned.
Well, I'm going to take this tool and put it in my toolbox and implement it for the next 5 to 6 weeks and give it a shot.
Yep.
And I'm on the road to my next pro qualifying event, and Stan is going to be coaching me like always through the whole damn thing, and I report with Stan all the time. If you guys don't have somebody, check out Stan Efferding. If you're looking for powerlifting, you're looking for a cooler, this is also the owner of the cooler, guys. Come on now.
Plug in.
He just sold to a bunch of billionaires. So check it out, thecooler.com. Effing shit up. If you want to grab a t-shirt off his website, go to stanefferding.com. Stanefferding.com. And if you guys are interested in G-Standard clothing, it's IamTheGstandard.com. And if you guys ever want to check out the gym, it's down here in Tacoma, Washington with Pacific Northwest Mega Bodybuilding. Thanks for joining me and Stan today. Thank you, Stan, for coming out. Appreciate it always. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on the next one.